It's Johnny Cakes in a cast iron skillet. Welcome back to Adornment with Adrian. Happy fall, y'all. Alright, Adorners, because we want our consistency to be a little thicker, we're only going to use about a 1/4 cup of milk, one egg with this Jiffy mix.
Alright, Adorners, I'm going to go ahead and incorporate a little bit more milk. That's probably about 1/2 tablespoon. And I'm going to heat up our cast iron skillet and make our Johnny Cakes, and I'll be right back. Okay, Adorners, so we have a small skillet. I'm going to spray it again. I've already sprayed it, but I'm going to spray it with some non-stick spray. You can use oil if you want and wipe it in. Alright, y'all, I'm heating up a cast iron skillet to make our cornbread hoe cake, Johnny Cakes. And I'm just going to add enough in enough of our cornbread to fill the pan. Okay, Adorners, for our Johnny Cakes, I've added in 2 tablespoons of our cornbread mixture, and I've kind of flattened it out. And I'm going to let it cook on one side for about 2 minutes, and I'm going to turn it over really quick because it will burn real fast, okay? And I'll be back. When you're cooking these cakes, Adorners, you want to kind of watch it just like you would a pancake. When it starts to get a little nicely, you see the little bubbles on the outside, then you want to turn it over. All right, Adorners, so I've added 2 large tablespoons of our cornbread mixture to our skillet along with some non-stick spray. And I'm going to let it, you see it's bubbling on the outside. You only needed to let it cook for a little while, maybe a minute or so, minute and a half, and then you want to flip it over, okay? Okay, Adorners, as you can see, I've gone ahead and flipped over our Johnny Cake so it's not too brown on the other side. And I have my skillet down on low. I mean, it's really on low because it was hot when it was actually hot when everything started and went on in there. Okay, Adorners, so you can see this is going to go along so nicely with our soup. I went ahead and flipped it over, and it really was only on for about 1 to 2 minutes on one side to be this brown. But because I heated my skillet up and I just turned it down, you don't need your skillet up too high, okay? And you don't have to cook them very long. This cooks up really nicely, and it's going to go along so greatly. It's going to go along so nicely with our soups. All right, so I've taken out my second hoe cake, and I'm going to go ahead and add a little butter to these just like you would pancakes. And let's do our last hoe cake. Okay, Adorners, when you add this filling or mixture to your pan, you can spread it out, okay, to make the size that you want it, and then let it cook like we do a pancake, and then we're going to turn it off. Okay. All right, Adorners, so we got our last Johnny Cake. You can see that spray, it just flips right over. All right, I'm holding the camera and trying to do this at the same time, but I think you get the feeling. All right, Adorners, so it's time to take out our last Johnny Cake. As you can see, it cooked up so nice and very quickly, and like I said, this will go along wonderfully with our soup. I'm going to add some butter on these, and I'll be back. All right, Adorners, so our Johnny Cakes are done. I'm going to enjoy these with our soups that I'm making today. But anyway, this is a quick way to make some cornbread. I did add in some hot water. You can use hot water cornbread and no egg. That's another, I guess I have to do that another time. But anyway, I added a little butter on top of these. And all right, Adorners, this is a quick way to make up some cornbread. And you can always add some butter or honey or molasses to this. It's up to you. But it's a wonderful way to enjoy some cornbread with a soup or a stew for this fall and winter. Alright, Adorners, so our hoe cakes, Johnny Cakes, are done, and as you can see, they're so beautiful, wonderful with our soups that I just made. Please watch those videos as well. But this was just done. You could do this as hot water cornbread. You know, you instead of using milk, you would use hot water. Okay, with this is just a Jiffy mix, really quick, in a cast iron skillet, as you saw if you watched the video. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm going to enjoy this with our soups. If you didn't watch the soup videos, please do. I used to love when my grams made these in the fall for soups or stews. Anyway, see you in the next video. Saving love.